Hi guys, we're back another live. Um, I really just wanted to bring some things to the forefront today. I was looking into kind of bringing in this new episode thing to my challenge. So every month, I'm going to hopefully come to you guys with, an episode on higher purpose living. And the reason that this is why I named it higher purpose living is because I just believe that no matter what we're going through in our lives, we always have the ability to choose to step into that higher purpose that we're intended to be following, like that path that our heart wants to go to, but sometimes our minds can't. And we have the ability to choose like whether or not we're going to sulk in a situation that doesn't serve us any longer, or if we're going to step into that higher purpose that we're meant to do. And the reason that this is so important to me, especially this month, is because there's so much stuff happening in our like astrology this month that has just been bringing this out. I feel like for so many people, there's just huge transformative moments happening. And I think that this can resonate with some people that follow me as well. So that's why I want to bring it to this channel. And I think that, some of us are called to certain work because we have something to offer to certain people. So I hope that this message resonates with you guys. And I'm really excited to get into it a little bit and just share, in this different new way. So today, let's just talk a little bit about, feeling what May feels like. I feel like this month is just feeling like it's super heavy, and it just feels like a thick blanket of energy is just like covering me. I don't know if you guys can relate, but I just feel like there's so much change happening. And my hair's looking crazy. I just feel like I'm getting closer to know myself this month for some reason, like more than usual, which can bring a lot of emotion and, feeling out of control a bit because I'm not used to being so raw with myself, if that makes sense. So if you guys can relate, let me know what this has been feeling like for you. But I just love when I can kind of feel myself changing, even though it might be hard. I know that there's always this higher calling after a really hard time. And I'm good, like emotionally and physically, I feel pretty good. But I just feel like I'm being more real with myself. And I feel like that can be kind of scary. So, yeah, I just like to know that there's always a higher purpose. There's always something more that we're being called to do. And this season, like kind of ending the spring, going into the summer, there's an eclipse that's going to be happening in May on the 26th. And I just so resonate with the message of an eclipse. It talks a little bit about, I was reading like a few things on eclipses, and what they are known for is just really quick change. So if you're feeling like you need to change something in your life, or like you've been feeling that way and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm done, that's so typical for during this time. And I think it's because the moon and the eclipse has to do with the moon and a shadow going over the moon blocking, light. And that's kind of like the moon representing our emotions and us kind of like getting really emotional and then just like waking up one day and being like, I, can't continue to do this thing any longer. So if you're feeling that way, I've heard so many things where people are like losing or leaving their jobs. And it's like a huge decision that all of a sudden they wake up and they're like, yep, I'm done. Or moving states, or like leaving a relationship, just these huge life changes. And everyone is kind of going through them right now. So I'm curious if you guys are going through something, even like stepping into a new calling or a new work or job, or, just down a different path. Let me know what you guys are experiencing because I can totally relate to all of this. So that's really what an eclipse stands for. It's change. And after that period of emotional, like turmoil, comes this rebirth. And after, you make that big decision, you can walk down a new path that's a little bit different. And maybe you feel like some weight has been taken off your shoulders and you feel like you are following your purpose more, or you're gaining clarity on what you need to do in your life. That's what comes after these big changes, like especially in astrology. It just seems like, these very intense times follow with something really beautiful. So that's kind of what I'm going through right now. Just like a lot of change and deep things that I'm facing in my life, like with myself. And I'm coming to realization. And now I guess the question is, what do we do with those realizations? Like, where do we go from there? And that's the beauty of life. You just never know, like, what the next step is, or, what even the next day brings. So I want to encourage you guys to stay in the moment as much as you can right now, because it's going to get more clear. Just stay, in your own lane. Don't double think it. Don't second guess yourself. Whatever you're feeling like you need to move away from or let go of, now is the time to do it. Like, it's now, even though it feels scary. We just have to take, one step in front, in one foot in front of the other, basically, with these times. So let's talk a little bit about mental health real quick. I just want to go over some tips that I came up with, because sometimes after I meditate, or like after I sit with myself for, a certain amount of time, I'll just bring out my journal and I'll just kind of like write either a journal entry, or I'll write tips down, or like new video ideas. And when I was doing this one, I realized that I had a lot to say about mental health this month, because leading up until this time, probably starting like early April, I started to second guess everything, and in a way that was like way heavier than usual. So, now through May, I'm kind of like gaining more clarity on that and really starting to take action on some of those things. And of course, like all of these decisions and just trying to get clarity on life can bring some mental health challenges. I think that like my anxiety was through the roof the past month, because I just had so many different things going through my head. I just wasn't sure about some of the things I was doing anymore. And I realized that I needed to make some changes. And knowing that you have to make a change, but not making the change, I feel like can take such a toll on mental health, because there's some part deep down inside that's just not feeling like it's right, at least right now. And having to live every day like that and be happy about it, it's not easy to do. So I think that these times are really like linked with mental health. And I have some tips on how to like try to stay really positive during times of change, but not like a positive where it's like unhealthy or, not realistic. Positive in knowing that you are still on the path to your higher purpose. And, just because there are things that happen that maybe throw you off into a different path, there's always a lesson that can be learned in that. And I don't regret any decisions that I make that I learn are no longer, what I want to do, because I think that every experience really adds to character and adds to who we are as individuals. And we are put here and connect with each other based off of our unique experiences. So that's the point of life. It's to have all these different experiences and not really know what's going to come next. So the 5 mental health tips that I have this month for May are, I kind of like put them in an order that hopefully makes sense. But the first one is center yourself and listen. And this is so important, because I think sometimes, like, I'm guilty of this too. I like listen to other people talk about their stories, and I don't talk about or think about myself and like dive deep and sit with myself, in stillness, even if I'm not meditating or anything. And I'm just like listen to what my body is saying to me. Some days, like, I just feel certain ways, and I think like sitting in stillness and processing that helps me gain clarity a lot more quickly if I'm not like kind of distracting myself from that. But yeah, like our bodies are always talking to us basically. And what we need to do is quiet, the outside chatter so we can really listen to what's going on inside. And the second mental health tip I have for this month is to practice saying yes to your desires more. So if you are like putting off doing some things for yourself or, taking a new path, like just say, even if it's one little step, like if you are looking to change careers, but you're not necessarily ready to like leave your job, then maybe just making the decision to learn a little bit more about what you could do, like really dive into that navigation and learn a little bit more about the options out there for yourself. You deserve to be filled up. And I think that when you say yes more, even to the little things, you get closer and closer to what you want for your everyday. The third mental health tip I have is you can always stop doing the things that don't make you feel good. So, even leaving that job that has benefits and makes you, feel stable in your life, that's something that can be replaced. And one action, at least this is what I've experienced, one action out of the direction that doesn't feel good is one action into the direction that does. So even if it's like a super small step, it's still a step in the right direction because you are becoming aware and making change in your life that then creates more space for the right things to come in. And I also added whether that's like a job, an environment, being around people that bring you down, just like doing the activities that no longer serve your personality or who you are. You can always stop doing those things. And for me, at one point, it was drinking coffee. Like I just quit drinking coffee one time for a few weeks because at that point in my life, it wasn't making me feel good. So like having that awareness is so key to just feeling better and just, getting the opportunity to step a little bit closer into that higher place. And the fourth tip I have is, after you do some of these things, you start to remember who you are. So maybe just like get in touch with the essence of yourself by, doing something that's unique to you or like reading a book that you read at one point in your life that made you feel really good, or going back to a place that had really great memories for you. Like doing something for fun that helps you connect with your inner child, like putting work aside, putting your kids aside, even your partner, just doing something that makes you feel like yourself again, even if it's like going to get your hair done or to a spa or an activity that once made you feel like super alive. Just like tapping into that place is sometimes just the way to realize all of the other things in your life that either feel really good or don't feel really good, because then you don't have to think about, the next stressful thing. Like you're in a happy place or doing something good for yourself and gaining some clarity on what is no longer working in your life. And then the fifth is have gratitude for these in-betweens and not really knowing what's coming next, because this is where all of the magic happens. It's like you begin to start to question things and then change happens. And then you get closer to what you want. And these in-between moments, like whatever that means for you. For me right now, my in-between is not knowing my next direction, like having this passion, having this love and want to connect with you guys and grow a business and, just kind of evolve. I don't know where to go from there. I'm not sure what comes next for me. And I need to have gratitude for these in-betweens, because this is where I make the decisions on what's going to happen next by how I'm listening to my body and what I'm naturally flowing towards. And if I'm feeling like I need to, take a break from something or step back from something, that's giving me the space to feel and make decisions more clearly. So I need to have gratitude for these moments of in between, because we don't necessarily know what comes next ever. So it's like a false sense of security when we think that we do. And, I need to realize and own that we can absolutely always step into our higher purpose. We just need to remember and like listen to our own cues and our own mental health. And then we'll kind of know how to navigate each and every day. But we just need to stay in tune. And so I hope that these tips like resonated and made sense, because I think this month and all of this transformation that's coming, it's really easy to just become a little anxious and, wondering, curious, what's going to happen next. And it doesn't always bring the greatest feelings. It can bring a lot of emotion and fights and just confusion and even feeling like there's failure happening. And there's really not. It's just this calm / emotional time where a whole lot is happening, but we're just waiting for that to come to fruition. And once we take that action and, declare what we no longer want in our life, we can welcome that renewal and really welcome what we do want in our life, in our lives. So that's just where I'm at right now. I hope that higher purpose living is something that sticks around and that I can kind of build on, because it's really important to me that I always remember I have the ability to step into my higher purpose. And it can be the smallest things that bring me closer to myself and bring me closer to, connecting with others and being the best person I can for me and other people. So, yeah, welcome. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit different than what I usually do, but different is good. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And of course, if you're new, I would love if you would subscribe. We're going to be branching out a little bit now in my channel. So I hope that you're going to stick around for that. And I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.